What's going on, guys? We are out here at a pond that I have never fished before. I've seen this pond here for quite a while and many years, and I've never actually come back here to try to fish it. And I think we're gonna go ahead and do that today. Sherry's told me that she's never caught a bass before, so that is what we're going for. We're gonna try many different baits and see if we can't get her on her very first bass. So stay tuned. We'll check in with you here in a minute. We got a little bit of a hike to get into this pond here, and we're gonna get set up and get fishing. See you guys soon. All right, guys, so we are at the spot that we want to fish. Sherry is very eager, and she said as we were walking in, I just saw a fish jump. So she cast it out, and she said, now how do I work this thing? So I told her she's working with a spinnerbait. It's up to her to find the speed at which she reels that spinnerbait back and attracts the bass. So she needs to try various different speeds. She's gonna give it a whirl. If she doesn't get on it that way, we can always try like a soft plastic or something, or a topwater frog. I think it's too early in the season for a topwater frog, but you never know. I'm very interested to see if she gets on a fish today. I'm gonna go ahead and get set up myself. I'm gonna do some casting and see if I can't get on one as well. What I like to do is, I like to work in a motion, like say we're here, right? You're gonna cast this way. If you don't find nothing, cast it this way, cast it this way, cast it this way, cast it this way. If you don't get on anything at all, what we do is we walk down a little bit and see. And what we'll do is we'll walk the whole perimeter of the pond. If we don't get on any fish, we don't get on any fish. But this pond has been here for a very long time. I can see some type of life here with that snail shell. So there's got to be fish in here. Can't catch him, knock him out, right? Need to go to soft plastics in here. So we've been here about 15-20 minutes. We've given a lot of casts as we walked around the pond. We haven't seen any fish activity yet. We haven't had any strikes or any bites. I think it's a little too early for the spinner baits and the topwater baits. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook Sherry and I up with a few soft plastics, a couple different variations, I guess. Give her one, I'll use one, and we will see if we can't get on a bite that way. If we can't get on a bite that way, there's probably no fish in this pond, and we might have to move on to a pond that I know holds fish. So when you bounce it up a little bit, right, let it come to a rest and let it sit for a second. You don't want to reel it back too fast, you know what I mean? You kind of want to like jerk it back, reel up your line, let it sit for a minute, jerk it back. And it doesn't always have to be just a jerk, you know what I mean? You could do a, you know what I mean? Was it supposed to rain today? We got a little bit of a sprinkle going on right now, which is unfortunate, but you know, it's the name of the game. When you're outside, you got to play by the outside's rules, right? We're gonna push forward for a little bit and see if we can't get some bites happening. I've got a duck swimming. Whoa! He tried taking my head off until he saw me. Anyways, there's something for the blooper reel. We're gonna try fishing around the rest of the pond here. If we don't get anything biting with any of the baits that we're using, like I said, this is an uncharted pond. I've never fished it before. I doubt anything's gonna bite if we can't get anything biting on any of the baits that we've got. I hate to put a video out there where we get skunked, but hey, you know, the thing is, with me, it's the way I wanna go with my channel. You know, I keep saying it, and I said it last time in the last video I did. It's the reality of fishing. Sometimes you go out, sometimes you catch fish, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. One of those type of numbers. But regardless, my thing is, we're out here, started off a little overcast, now it's raining. We ain't catching no fish. It's a little boring to say the least, but as a fisherman, as an angler, we know that we just keep pushing forward until we do find what works. I've never fished this pond before. Maybe it's just a matter of finding what works. So let's see. We'll keep pushing around the pond. Hopefully the rain lets up a little bit and we catch some fish. We left that pond because the rain started coming down pretty heavy. We're both kind of soaked with rain. So we are jumping to another pond now that the rain has passed. There is another pond on our way home. There's several ponds on our way home that I know of that hold bass. So what we're gonna do is we are going to jump from pond to pond until we catch something. This is the quest for Sherry's first bass. I'll see you when I get to the next pond. So we are officially here at the second pond of the day. It is a parking lot runoff pond. There is shopping malls all around us here and some big box stores and whatnot. So all the water from the parking lot and from the roofs of the stores and stuff, it all flows into these retention ponds around the property. There is a lot of brim and a lot of bass in these ponds. However, I don't recommend eating them whatsoever. All the oil and the pollution and everything from the parking lot, it just ends up in this pond, and that's what the fish live in. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can't get something going right now. chasing you down?
Yeah, he's right there now.
Supposed to be bass fishing and she's out here messing with turtles.
There's some fish right there. I don't know what kind of fish they are, but there's a bunch of fish right there. I think they're just brim, but they're nice sized brim. Pulling it up, reeling it in, giving it a jerk, letting it sit, giving it a jerk, letting it sit, reeling in the slack, give it a jerk, let it sit, give it a little jerk, give it a little jerk. You just gotta mix up the pattern a little bit, you know what I mean? Because this is what the fish is gonna look like on the, or the bait's gonna look like on the bottom. See it in there? Can you see it? See it moving across the bottom?
Yeah.
You see it? Okay. So when you jerk it like this, the rod tip, right? You do it different patterns. It moves all different ways. You know what I mean?
Does it need to do anything to this?
No.
Oh.
You keep messing with it. Just kind of cast it out a little further then and kind of like walk it back. See if you can't get it to stop. As big as a bait that other one was, I don't think it would get to stop either, but this one's so small. All right, guys, end of day one. We're gonna wrap it up. We hit 3 different ponds and we struck out at all 3 ponds. So day one is skunked. What I'm gonna try to do is we're gonna keep going until we can get Sherry on a bass. Like I said earlier, it's a quest to get Sherry on her first bass. We don't have a lot of time today. We went to the first pond that we never ever fished in our entire lives. We've known about it for a few years, but we've never fished it. We gave that one a try, going in the blind, and it didn't work out for us. This pond that we've been fishing here is actually connected to that second pond. This is the 3rd pond that we're on, but it's connected to the second pond, and it's kind of shaped like an L. So technically we only did 2 ponds. We fished both ponds, and we did not get 1 bite whatsoever. Though we did see some fish. I think they were black crappie and not bass. they're sitting on beds. So I honestly think I should have done a little more research and seen what the water temperature is like here in Myrtle Beach before we went forth with the bass fishing. Because honestly, I think right now the bass could actually be sitting on beds, and we can't entice them to bite. Normally you can if you piss off a bass enough, it's going to bite whatever it keeps trying to snatch its nest. So anyhow, day 1 is in the books. Got skunked. We'll chalk it up as a loss, and we will prepare for day 2 coming soon.